Good evening. Tonight we'll take a look at the Entertainment Software Association's report about gamer statistics and speculate about Josh Van's peacekeeping mission to the war-torn region of Detroit. This is Nightfall Unlimited, the podcast, episode 20. So, Brett's cracking up because he knows what I say is true. Let's just jump right in. Ray, how you doing, buddy?
I am alive.
Ray is alive.
For the moment.
Fighting the good fight against food poisoning.
Thanks, Wendy's.
He has not mixed words about blaming Wendy's.
The last thing I ate was Wendy's.
They have failed to reach out over Twitter, probably because of the F word. But in all seriousness, I hope you feel better soon, because that's the worst.
So
I'm full of Pepto right now, so.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's about the best you can do, and wait it out. Move on down the line. Dan Cassidy, how are you, sir?
Good. How's it going today?
Doing all right.
I'm ready to sketch out some Daredevil while we're
chit-chatting. Yeah, by special request, Ray has requested Daredevil, and we'll be following along. So.
Nice.
And then we got Brett Van down here. How you doing?
I'm actually pretty good. Tired.
Actually pretty good. Haven't fixed that door, but
no.
Updates on the
still
door.
Just free.
Door Watch 2015. Okay. So in all seriousness, Josh is doing work training up in the greater
something
Michigan
like that, or he's just enjoying it up there. I don't know if it's a vacation or what.
He actually posted quite a beautiful picture of a cabin on the water, and I thought, that's not the Detroit I know. So
it is not.
So,
it is most certainly Michigan.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Good luck to him, and we'll enjoy our first non-explicit show.
That's it.
Oh man. What cool stuff were we talking about before the show even started? We got talking about how one of the biggest game jams of the year is this weekend. Let 'em Dare. I didn't look up what number it is, but every year they do two big game jams, one in April and one in December. So.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That they have like an event at Washington, WashU here over in St. Louis, at 1:00 p.m. Central Time. So. It's going to be over there from like 1 to 6. Let 'em dare. I guess it's going to be a lot of our independent game developers getting together and going out there and doing their thing. They haven't announced a theme yet. Let's see, but they still have theme voting at letemdare.com. If anybody's interested in participating or reading up on what the event's all about.
Yeah, it's a cool event. They'll announce a theme, I guess, Friday night in the early evening, and then people have 48 hours to develop a game and turn it in, and then they can kind of rate other people's games and show things off and share a little bit about their experience over the weekend. And there's also a larger event for teams. If you don't want to do a solo entry, you can get with some friends and have, I think it's 72 hours to do your thing. So, pretty neat.
Yeah.
I've done probably 3 of them total now, but 2 solos and a team event. But it's really cool for people who are into that sort of thing, and it's a great way to get into game design. And those meetups in person, I've never done one of those, but that's really cool.
Oh yeah, I'm part of I participate regularly in the independent game developer events here in St. Louis, and we have a really good group out there that's putting together some strong events for us. So this weekend we just did a private screening, or whatever you want to call it, a screening that we could all kind of jump in on of a show called Game Loading: Rise of the Indies. So it's like an independent film that's going to be coming out on the 21st of April, and we got to go there, check it out in advance, and that was a lot of fun. So we have, let's see, Carol Mertz, I think, is the one that put together this event, and so that's like Carol, Carolmertz. If anybody's interested in independent game development and you happen to be around the St. Louis area, check her out on Twitter and look it up, and then also check out our meetup that she's running out there for the group, and maybe you can come out there and join us some night.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling Dan before the show, the only reason I haven't joined up with any of the IGDA St. Louis stuff is my own personal sense of shame that I don't have more stuff going on in the App Store and on Steam and things like that. And I know they'd be awesome anyway. It's certainly not on them. It's just my own personal psychological thing. Like, I don't get enough done. I'd just be sitting there feeling bad about myself. But don't take my advice on that thing. Just go and have fun if you're interested in that sort of stuff. I know it's a great group.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It's all about community.
Yep.
So anyway, that was just neither here nor there, just fun stuff we talked about before the show. We've talked about a lot of great things this week. A lot of great movie trailers are out. Cool stuff happening on Netflix. Man, the big one right now is Daredevil. Have we all watched it? At least some of it now? I've watched the first episode. What about you guys?
I am 3 or 4 episodes in. I'm really enjoying it myself. So.
Yeah.
So Ray,
I'm done with it.
You're done with the whole series? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You wasted no time. Well, he's been not feeling well.
I tried to space it out. Well, no, I was done Sunday, but I tried to space it out as much as I could, but it was too good to, not watch. So.
Right.
So yeah, I've been limiting myself to like 1 a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the first episode so far, and yeah, I mean, I'm glad, they came through, right? I mean, so it's from what I've seen so far, it's just looks like it's going to be solid, and initially I'd heard about a lot of violence and things, or at least that was some of the. Maybe there's a lot of blood or something as the series kind of goes on. In the first,
yeah, there is.
I'm not seeing that, but
there's a lot of. He fights hand-to-hand combat quite a bit. There's a lot of explosions. There's a lot of arrows and some blood. One guy gets burned alive. There's one move that Daredevil does where he pulls a guy down to the ground by his mouth, takes him down and pulls him down to the ground and hits his chin on the ground, which is really crazy. Yeah, awesome. It's pretty awesome, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, really, I don't think anybody could have played him better. And the way they wrote him in the show, a little bit different. He was the first episode he appeared in, he was very mild-mannered and very quiet, but knowing who he is, you know how fierce he can be, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you get there. I think it's the 3rd episode he finally shows up in.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what everybody's saying, that this Kingpin couldn't have been any better, and certainly I don't know that this Daredevil could be much better either. He's really absolutely perfect.
Good. The entire cast has been fantastic. Everybody, top to bottom. I don't think there's a weak link in the chain, and that's what you get with Marvel anyway.
Right, and this is a really good sign because Marvel is working with Netflix on other series, and so now there's hope for even more good, entertaining stuff after this. I was talking to our buddy Jamie Crock on Twitter, and he said, this is the blueprint, and hopefully they build a lot more great things out of this. And he mentioned Punisher, which I'd love to see a Punisher series on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
I brought up Luke Cage right away, and that's already in the works. He's going to be part of the Jessica Jones series. There's going to be Iron Fist coming up later.
They're building towards the Defenders, so
right.
That's going to be a big project too.
So it's extremely cool. We're starting to see a lot of those characters we were playing in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, just people we kind of renewed our love for.
One of the cool things, I keep wondering if they're going to somehow turn up in the film part of the cinematic universe. One cool thing was Ben Urich, who was casted a little bit differently, but he was a fantastic actor who plays him. I can't think of his name offhand. But again, Ben Urich in the comics I do believe is white, and this he's black. Not that really matters to me, but they casted right, which I like that Marvel does that. But behind him, there's news articles on the wall of a scene from the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk movie, and there's one from the Battle for New York, which was from Avengers, which is really cool. They had a bunch of cool Easter eggs, and is what they call it, I guess, in the show.
So the Battle for New York, that's the event in the very first episode that they're kind of hinting at how New York City just recently kind of got.
Yeah, they're talking about from Avengers. Yep.
Oh, nice. Okay. I was wondering which one they were going.
Yeah, it's all in the same universe, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, tell me if you guys saw this about Netflix. There were a lot of complaints that they've got this new Daredevil series that can't be watched by blind people. Because,
nothing can be watched by blind people, so.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I do.
There are no audio descriptions. You know, they don't have the accessibility in place, which they, to Netflix's credit, when stuff like this comes up, they are usually good about saying, "No, you're right." You know,
Right.
There's now a fix in place, and they're of course expanding that to all the shows they possibly can. Certainly the ones they're in charge of. So
that actually surprised me. So I hadn't seen any of that chatter, but like I guess even like with web development, sometimes it's surprising certain standards that aren't in place for people with disabilities, either through either hearing and or other types of disabilities. It surprises me that that's still kind of an afterthought. You would think everybody. I guess it's it's the great thing about the web, that it's not monitored and controlled, to the point of censorship. But it's also that thing where you got that inconsistent quality or stuff like that goes by without being taken care of, I guess.
Right. They still talk about us being in the Wild West age of the internet, which is true by and large. And certainly as a web developer guy and a former government contractor guy, I certainly know a lot about those mandates for accessibility and things in web pages and all that stuff. It's all pretty interesting, and you like to think that everybody would do this just to be doing the right thing, make everything accessible to everybody.
Yeah, especially a leader like Netflix. You would think that they would have already been on that. So I'm sure they're on it now. Maybe we'll see them just take care of business real quick and get caught up and learn from it.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be continuing on in Daredevil. Basically, I'll watch one every time it's sort of around lunchtime and the baby's asleep. So the more of that, the more Daredevil I'll get to watch.
Right, it's one of those shows you can't quite. I have to wait till my 4-year-old is preoccupied or asleep, before I can kind of watch it. So yeah, but I'll be definitely watching it.
And speaking of kids, there was a really cool feature on avclub.com. They tracked down 2 of the 90s era Super Toy Run Nickelodeon winners and interviewed both of them 20 years after they did their toy runs. This is awesome because if you ever watched Nickelodeon back in the day, this was one of the biggest things of the year. It was this and Nickelodeon Takes Over Your School. So basically, right. any disruption of kid life by Nickelodeon, these things were just crazy popular. And these kids are both now, my age roughly, talking about how they ran through Toys R Us or KB Toys and went to Hawaii and all this stuff. And I thought it was fascinating. It's a really long article, and if you're an old Nickelodeon kid now, it's definitely worth a read.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I actually one time won some kind of viewer participation type contest. Actually won like 2 copies of a Double Dare cassette and the show recorded of the show. A couple things. It was I always liked that show.
That's awesome. You were even closer to that than I was, because I was going to tell a story about being in, I guess it was 3rd grade, and our local Channel 11 did this, they called it Kids Club, and there'd be kids programming after school and stuff, and every once in a while they would do like a call-in contest, and if you're caller 111 or whatever it is, ask your parents' permission and dial this number, they were giving away IMAX tickets to see some movie. It didn't even seem that interesting, but it was like, oh man, I could win that, and I would get tickets to go to this, and I'm freaking out. So as a 3rd grade kid, my parents are like, call as many times as you want. You're not going to win that, and they're off doing their own other thing. And the next thing I know, there's this person on the other line like, yeah, you won. You get these tickets, and holy cow, do you have a parent nearby and stuff? And I like froze. I was like, I just won the thing, and I'm on TV and stuff, and this is crazy. And I ran to the other room, and they're on the other end like, hello? I run to the other room, and I grab my mom or dad or something. They talk to the person for a few minutes. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Goodbye. And they hang up, and they're like, yeah, you're not doing that.
Oh, crap.
What are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, we have to, like, drive to St. Louis before 7:30 before their office closes and get that, and then we have to take you back there. We're not doing that. They didn't get the tickets, and I've still never seen an IMAX movie in my entire life.
Really?
Oh.
Now I almost don't want to do it out of spite. Like, I'm so angry.
You should. It really is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, and tell my poor third grade self that story. Yeah, it's fun.
I've got a story like that if you want to hear it.
Yeah, what happened?
This is back 94, 95, I'd say. My mom was a big fan of Y98 and the radio station, and she really wanted to get Boyz II Men tickets.
Yeah.
And if you were the certain caller or whatever, you got the tickets. If you missed it by one, you got the CD and like a summer supply of Crystal Light tea. So she called me and had me call in. Well, she was calling me from work to have me call in, which didn't make any sense. But I called in.
Do it.
Yeah, and I got the second prize. I got the CD and the. It was like actually 2-year supply of Crystal Light. Have you ever had that stuff?
Yeah.
Like diet tea. And
I
diet
can't imagine
lemonade.
drinking a summer's worth of it. But
It was disgusting. We got this nice tote bag and got to jam out to some Boyz II Men too. On Bended Knee and I'll Make Love to You. Remember those songs?
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
We were boys, like hanging out playing basketball and stuff. We were still listening to like Boyz II Men.
Yeah, jamming.
This is gonna have to be the '90s episode, I guess.
ABC DVD. East Coast Family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. And I mean, it's funny because we're all singing these songs about sweet, sweet love making, and we're like 12 or whatever. Yeah. Sweet, sweet love.
I was telling my friends recently about that MC Hammer tape, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him.
Oh yeah.
My mom knew that MC Hammer was like, well, he's a guy who believes in the Lord and all this stuff, and so she grabs me a tape from a yard sale or something, and she gives it to me, and I'm listening to like, Can't Touch This and all this junk. That may have not have been on that tape, but
You've Got to Pray.
Yeah, you've got to pray.
Why we pray. That's why we pray.
To make it today.
Pray is followed by like She's Soft and Wet. Those were like back to back on this tape, and sure enough, I popped this thing in the car. I don't even know. I'm like 9, 10. I popped this thing in the car, and she's like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "You gave me this." So,
Good album.
Hammer times.
That's right. And so that was the end. Yeah, out the window goes. I wondered why those cassettes were on the side of the road all the time when I'd be driving.
I do think that was the last time I got to listen to Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him.
Wow, you're pretty close. It's Pray, Crime Story, then She's Soft and Wet, which apparently is a Prince cover. That's awesome.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, I'm not making it up.
No, it's amazing that you remember that song. She's Soft and Wet. I know what I'm listening to tonight.
I remember Pray really well for some reason. It was a pretty good song.
Well, I think it was just
it was a big song.
saying she's a sponge. Like, she's just got
Yeah.
sponge off.
Got to pray just to make it today. It's like the classic 90s, whatever, with the choir in the background, of course, and everything.
Uh-huh.
Well, he did a song for the Addams Family movie, too. Remember that at all?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, man. You have to look that one up. It's terrific.
Brett, how about it? What contest did you win as a child?
Being Josh's brother. Oh.
The contest of life, huh?
Is that even him?
Frozen?
Is there just Brett Scott?
Whatever that is, it's got a goony look on his face. So
That's
I
a
just
really
clicked
good
on his
picture.
screen. He's apparently been gone for a while.
yeah. Well, he's got to pray to make it today.
Pray for Brett.
Pray for his computer.
Yeah, that's funny. Man, where was I? Holy cow.
All right,
Well, with
so
these contests,
I
I'll
think
know
we're
they
wrapping up.
try to hook you all the time, don't they? I've tried a bunch of them in my lifetime.
I kind of have too, actually. I did win another one that I actually got to participate in. 1057 The Point was giving away 3 days grace tickets. I got to go to see them at the pageant. That was a cool show.
I've never won tickets. Actually, I take that back. I won tickets to Star Wars Celebration 5, all expense paid trip. I forgot about that in 2010.
I don't think I knew that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we went. I wanted to go, and we had no money to go. And so I entered all these different contests to try to go, and I won tickets. It was very surprising. I wish I would have done that this year, because it's this weekend and I can't go. I'm very sad about that.
I am. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
I won a CD from The Point once. It was I want to say Stained, their second album.
Sure.
And they were doing this thing at Slackers. It wasn't on the radio or anything like that, but they had like a midnight sale for that CD at Slackers, which incidentally enough, I ran into an ex-girlfriend and told her I was getting married for some reason. Anyway, and I ended up winning a CD, so it was pretty fun.
Nice. I do recall that when I went to Union Station, where the 1057 The Point office was, this other guy was like, yeah, I won a contest too, and I won tickets for Creed, so can I pick those up? And on the way out, that guy's like, hey, you want to trade these Creed tickets for your 3 days grace tickets? I'm like, no, I don't. I just walked off. Come on, man. Oh, okay, since you said come on, man, here you go.
Yeah, come on, man. How about another $100 on top of that? Then I'll give it to you.
You touched me in a personal way.
So is Brett gone then?
We are totally vanless at the moment.
Wow.
Which is sad. I think he brought this next topic up, so let's rush through it before he gets back. Did you guys see this about Celebrity Deathmatch coming back? I think that started in the 90s too, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's coming back. I personally don't think this is going to be exactly for Todd, because now it's going to be these current people who I don't know anything about. Like when it was Hanson versus the Spice Girls, that's funny to me. I understand that. When it's like Chris Brown versus I don't know what, that's not cool. What do you think?
Versus any lady that gets in the car with him.
I'm not really interested. I watched it when it first started, but I don't really care about it anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan back in the days. I'm not a now, although I know lots of people that like it, I'm not a big like Robot Chicken kind of guy. I don't watch that show, and I think it's just maybe that type of stop motion or animation or something.
I liked it when it aired, but when it first aired, like the first couple, maybe season or two, but then it started getting really kind of stupid.
It got obnoxious, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Beavis and Butthead.
I'm not considering myself a fan. Beavis and Butthead, yeah, that had a certain timeline too. After a while, it was like, okay.
I tried watching it on Hulu this morning.
Do America?
Oh, by the way, I'm on vacation this week, so I'm enjoying my vacation sick. But I tried watching Beavis and Butthead. That does not hold up at all. Right. And they took the videos out. That was one of the best parts when they made fun of videos.
Yeah, that is. I mean.
Oh yeah, that's true, because they probably couldn't get the rights to that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, that's kind of retarded. I guess I'm glad I haven't been checking it out. Yeah. No, I mean, I was the Beavis and Butthead kind of, fan, but I think I went until the movie, and then for whatever reason, after that, I guess had the series stopped by the time the movie was.
The series stopped when South Park started. I think was what killed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
I don't know, maybe not. I'm just speculating.
I don't know. Well, it came back for a while too, but by that time it's like, what are we doing here?
Right. It was funny. I mean, it was funny for the time. I mean, I know my brother, he's a little bit older than me, and I think it was even more relevant to his.
It seems like to me they're starting to bring things back that were semi-popular back in the day, and reinvent them a little bit. And I don't know if this is the best idea.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It seems like everyone around our age looks back fondly at the 90s and times like that and goes, oh, man, I wish Rugrats was still on TV or whatever. And the truth is, if Rugrats came back, nobody would even realize it because no one would care. Like, they did this Boy Meets World spinoff, Girl Meets World, and who even watches that? Like, I checked an episode out at the gym. Dan watches.
Yeah. My little girl watched it. And to be honest, it's a good show. It's actually
Sure.
pretty good.
If
I
you have a
like
kid or
seeing
something,
Topanga and see what was going on and all that kind of good stuff.
yeah.
My daughter's watching a show called Arthur right now. You ever watch that? He's an
Oh
aardvark.
yeah.
Yeah, the aardvark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arthur doesn't mess around. Yeah.
No, that's DW's sister. She doesn't take anything.
Right.
Right.
She won't stand for it. Yeah.
That's a great show. Yeah, I love aardvark.
I remember my brother watching it. And I actually somewhat enjoyed. I have a hard time watching little kid animation, little kid shows like that. But for some reason, I can sit there and watch Arthur with her.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm kind of looking forward to when my kid is appropriate age for those cartoons and stuff, because a lot of the cartoons back then were actually okay. We'll probably watch some Kipper the Dog. I'm looking forward to Busy World of Richard Scarry. I don't know if you can get that on Netflix or whatever, but that was pretty
I haven't
cool.
seen that one, man.
Thomas the Tank is a good one. Reynolds watched that a lot.
I'll be cool with Thomas. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, and then another one he watched that we may be able to loan you a copy is called Harold and the Purple Crayon. Wow, we're really getting off topic.
I know, we lose the vans, then what
Yeah, we
happens?
lose the vans and we become a parenting podcast.
It's way back Wednesday.
Yeah.
It left us an old man with kids. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Responsibilities, things like that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you can always watch Caillou. Caillou's
I think I sat in front of that once.
Why
Probably no
he's
more.
bald, I couldn't tell you, but he's it's funny, okay, because like when you get to that age and you're watching those shows with your kids, and now you will be excited to see the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards again. You will be, you get to kind of relive those moments again, like we're talking about Double Dare and all that kind of stuff, just because being excited about it is more fun than sitting there being miserable. Yeah.
Now, is Double Dare still around? Or what's the deal? Because there's like that show I'd watch that if it came back. I don't even know if it's on. If it's on, I'd watch it. And
I think that's long gone.
What's that show? You Can't Do That on Television was one I used to watch. Remember that?
A lot of stuff spawned off of that. Yeah. No, it's matter of fact, Double Dare I don't think is on right now, but I seem like I heard about a resurgence of that. Like maybe they were looking at creating that show again or some of those.
Oh, I may be able to help with that. I think the AV Club also did a piece on that where they interviewed Mark Summers about all those old shows he was a part of back then, and he was such a great host. But I think it sounded like he was actually a little bitter because he's tried to reach out to the Nickelodeon people and maybe get something going again, and they just kind of weren't having it. And I think largely Nickelodeon has kind of tried to move away from that, that idea that like our best days were in the 90s. So I think anything that sort of smacks of that, they kind of move away from. Late 80s or early 90s, yeah.
Sad.
So yeah, they wouldn't hear about that. Me and Brett were talking about this on Twitter. I pulled up the very first episode of Legends of the Hidden Temple. And I love that show, and actually the first episode was a complete disaster. Like the games they came up with were not good, and the kids were just loudmouths, and like one was crying because he lost and stuff like that. It was fun to watch, but it was really a mess.
Okay. So it was good to us then, in that age and mindset, I guess. Huh?
Right. I bet they could get Mike O'Malley back and do some more Guts. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We've talked about this before. It feels like.
We may have talked about Guts. That was also
Hidden
very.
Temple one.
Oh yeah, yeah. HiddenTempleTees.com is a place that I keep telling everyone one of these days I'm going to go there and buy like all the T-shirts and maybe a stupid gold helmet. you just buy all the stuff they had on the show.
Cool. Yep. I mean, I remember Hidden Temple. Yeah, it's that one where, and all of a sudden, you're out trying to make a hidden temple with all your pillows and things that you can find around the house and create your own obstacle.
Yeah, hiding in the closet like, the legend today is the tale of the...
Right.
We would do that with Double Dare. We would make obstacle courses at school and stuff like that on the jungle gym.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything to get muddy.
Right, anything to get messed up and possibly hurt. Yeah. Man. I know Brett would have enjoyed that too. I'm still lamenting the disappearance of all the Van family.
Maybe he's watching, and still talking to us, but not really. There we go. Looks like he's coming back on now.
Looks like he's incoming.
Moving on.
Yeah, Brett, we were talking about your comic library you're going to start.
Oh yeah.
I can see a frozen image of your face.
He's
that
always got
better?
this goofy grin on his face when he has his frozen images.
Yeah, I think we finally got him back.
Maybe.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
Finally.
Anyway, so after the world's biggest tangent,
Yeah.
why don't we jump into our big top story here? And this only came up today, but Polygon covered the Entertainment Software Association's report on gamer statistics, and I'm pulling that up right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah, tell me, somebody, kind of the gist of what we're looking at here.
It's,
Okay,
yeah, there you go, Brett.
Basically, these the Entertainment Software Association went through and I guess they surveyed like 4,000 households. And
Okay.
I guess using the data from the survey, what they found out was essentially 155 million Americans are playing video games regularly, which is honestly an astounding number to me.
Right.
Like, I know video games are popular, don't get me wrong, but that's a big number.
Yes.
The average age is 35 years old. 26% of players are under the age of 18, and possibly the most surprising number to me is that 27% of video game players in America are over the age of 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that surprises me. Well, like I noticed one of the key demographics on here was 18 to 43, right? And I think that while you were off, Brett, we were talking about like the resurgence of some shows and how like some of the channels are marketing towards people in our age group. And I think that's why, because we're the ones consuming and spending money right now. And I think that translates across to this report as well. Is that we're the ones that are spending the cash, so that's who they're targeting.
I was.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Oh, I was just going to say, we're talking about the survey and how they had polled it and all this kind of stuff. I mean, what it looks like to me is that this group may be like more of a special interest group for video games and and the like and like that trade or that industry, which is fine. I mean, because like if you look at the actual report, if you went to the PDF. It tells you all the different big name developers or game companies that are involved in this group, and it has everybody from EA to Activision to basically, if you can think of a large gaming company, it's listed as a part of this association. So I mean but at the same time, I guess I wasn't as surprised. By the findings and by the participation and by how prevalent video games are right now in our nation, because I think it's going to be a part of our cultures for quite some time.
And you can tell how geared towards investment this is, because look how well designed this actual PDF is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is clearly not like a government sort of keeping tabs on the industry or whatever. This is like, ooh, shiny, and look how impressive these numbers are.
35 years old is the average age of a gamer, which is how old I am. Which I was born in 1980, so yeah, I think the children of the 80s have something, say about all this. Excuse me, my voice is cutting out.
Not on mine.
Anyway, some other findings are, let's see here, 84% of parents know about the ESRB, and 69% regularly check the ratings of the games that their children are playing and buying, and 90% say child can only buy or rent games with their consent, which none of those surprise me. I've always known that parents are keeping tabs, so to speak.
Right, more than the media would have you think
Right.
when they want to bash video games.
And then $22.41 billion were spent on video games last year.
Yeah, nice.
The top genres are action at 28.2% sold, shooting games at 21.7, and then sports games at 13.3. And more people are buying digital than physical copies, and I prefer actually having the game in my hand, but that's me.
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I don't.
And
I think there's certain games for me that I would rather have the physical copy over, like when I bought my newest 360, I got a copy of Tomb Raider, and I'm cool with that being, a digital copy. But like if it's a game series that I'm collecting, like Assassin's Creed, for instance, when I bought my Xbox One, I got Assassin's Creed Rogue and not Rogue, I'm sorry, Unity, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Black Flag was the disc, and Unity was a download, digital copy. So I traded that with my friend Edgar, and he gave me money towards Black Flag, so I could have the physical copy of it. So.
Something I'll say real quick about almost every platform now is the install issue. Even if you've got your games on DVD or disc or whatever it is, you pop that thing in. There's an install to be done. There are updates to be done. It's almost no different because I tell people, like, I'd like to buy digitally, install everything I'm going to play frequently, and then I don't have to worry about swapping discs and hoping one doesn't scratch or break and all this stuff. And it doesn't matter if you've got all of them on disc unless it's just for posterity's sake. And some people do that, or some people want to trade them in later. I can completely understand that.
Right. No, I get that.
But if it's for ease of use, I mean, there's almost no difference anymore.
Yeah, okay, so you got the whole environmental thing, right? You got the less packaging and all this kind of stuff. So whatever you can do to support that, I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, some people say, well, I worry about digital content because then I don't own anything, Well, with games, it's not quite the same because everything's cloud-based in some form or fashion nowadays. So you are going to access some type of online resource. I mean, you will have some standalone stuff, but I don't know. You're interfacing a lot. Nowadays, whenever you play any of these games. So, it is getting to that point where the need for an actual package or disc in your hand is almost gone away. I mean, it's good because I don't have to have like special cabinets in my entertainment center, to hold all my freaking discs and all that kind of stuff. They don't have to be a centerpiece in my entertainment center. But it's bad. I mean, I can't say I won't miss it. The days of like cool packaging and actually getting an instruction booklet, with the game.
Right. No, I mean,
I feel like they should lower the price on these games then. Honestly, if they're not printing them on disc, if they're not spending the money on discs and packaging.
Well, look at digital music,
Well, but for everything they don't do in physical media, there's a cost for hosting it on servers, for download. There's environmental impact. Okay, you don't have the plastic and the wrapping and all this stuff anymore, but now you're leaving the console on for an extra 12 hours to download it overnight. It's sort of a trade-off everywhere you go.
Sounds like you worked for the man, Todd.
Yeah, I honestly don't think. I think that's a different. I think it should be cheaper. Because think about the money they spend on plastic on every single game they sell, between the disc and the case, and all the printing they do on paper that they're going to be saving money on.
Well, but everything in the cloud has a cost as well. That's all physical stuff that's has staff to support it at Amazon S3 or all these other providers of bandwidth and server space and all this stuff. It would be nice to see a price cut.
Yeah, but they'll never pass those savings on to the consumer.
That's true.
Right. They won't. They're going to make more money this way.
Yeah, I mean, profit margins. That's the deal nowadays, right? I mean, people expect to see increased profits. There's no such thing anymore with just with just saying, okay, this is a solid product, that continuously makes X amount a year in sales. Everybody wants to see growth and development when it comes to stockholders and stuff. And
well, it's like when they. Sorry, it's like when they started doing product placement in games. Did that cut any costs? No, not at all.
Squeeze out some bucks.
Right.
You can't fault people for trying to make a buck. I guess it's the nature of the world.
And if it bothers me so much, I can just stop playing.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Right. Move to another country if you don't like it, Ray.
If you don't like Xbox, you can leave.
That's what they say.
Not play.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, you can do that too.
I think I'm starting to lean towards that anyway.
Not playing.
Yeah. It's a big time waster. Video games are the biggest waste of time in the world.
We should have planned this for a whole nother podcast.
Sorry.
No, it's funny you say that. In Chris Hardwick's book that he wrote, his first book, I cannot remember the name of it, but I've listened to the whole thing on Audible.com. He says that video games are unlike anything else because they feel like you're achieving something and you are absolutely not.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, I think there is so much to be gained by playing video games. There's so much.
Like what?
Just interaction. I mean, okay, yeah, if you want to go with the basic hand-eye coordination and all this kind of stuff, and you could do that. But I say, it teases the imagination. Participating in these things, I think you support the arts. There's stuff like if you really broke it down to how games are just critical today. I think that video games are a release in some ways for the stresses that our societies that we have now. Versus the ones that were the more prevalent, like in an industrial nation. I think. I could go on and on. This is like a big topic. I don't think you can discount the need for entertainment, cheap entertainment, at all, and video games being like right now a huge part of that. I mean, am I speaking to am I the only dude that feels that way, or?
No, I totally get it. I was actually.
Go ahead.
I was actually looking at my Twitter account really fast because I just connected with somebody, a guy named John Harrison, who, again, my buddy Jamie Kroc turned me on to this. This guy has given some TED Talks and things like that. He just put out a book called Leadership Lessons from Video Games that explores this topic in great depth. Basically, he's a kind of high-powered business exec, things like that. But this has always been a passion of his, and this book basically tries to translate what values and what lessons you can take from video games. Now, the Chris Hardwick side of that argument is basically that the whole thing behind the whole Nerdist.com movement is it's not about like, oh, this is all just geek culture stuff. It's like this is about creators, and those are the people he interviews, and those are the people they used to feature on the website. Now it's everything. But
right.
his point was like, while you're playing Xbox, you're not creating a game, or you're not writing a story, or whatever it is. So it's like anything. It's all balance. It should be something you experience, but it shouldn't be something you do while your kid is crying in the other room because he's hungry. Obviously.
Right.
So,
yeah. Right.
And,
but I don't think you can. I don't think people. I never agreed that people can blame that on video games. I think that can be attributed to crappy parenting, and whether or not it was associated with video games or not, more than likely those people would be crappy parents anyway. So, when it comes to Hardwick, all he's going for is, look, I'm a prominent person in media. Let me make some kind of shocking statement, that gets some clicks on my page. So I don't think it's anything more than that. I think there are plenty of people. I don't, how genuine is he? I don't know. I have to admit, I personally don't follow the Nerdist other than a few of their other properties, which I think are enjoyable. But I don't like to see people leeching off of a community and accepting dollars, for people who are into video games or into pop culture type stuff, and then at the same time they are kowtowing to a certain part of the audience that wants you to say games are bad. Okay, games aren't bad. games aren't bad. Games are what advances thought. Star Wars was probably bad to somebody, I'm sure, back in the days. And hey, you might as well thank it for every bit of current technology that exists right now. So, you know, I'm fighting real hard to keep this the non-profanity show. Okay. With those ideas. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I certainly know when I was a kid, a lot of older relatives, when my mom got me my first NES, went to my mom and said, you know, you're ruining that kid by giving him that thing. And she, to her credit, I give my parents a lot of crap for doing a lot of things wrong, and they did do a lot of things wrong. But this was one thing where they said, like, let's just see. And sure enough, led to a real successful career in software. A lot of things that aren't over yet, and it's helped a great deal. So
that's right. One of my goals in life, you know, is to be running my own comic book store and stuff like that at one point in time. One of many goals, right? And what I always plan to do is hang my military shadow box up behind there, because I did my 20 years. Hang a copy of my diplomas up behind there, because I've got 4 or 5 or something at this point. Okay, and to basically show it's all about balance. You know, I played video games since the since Atari and IBM PC Juniors, okay, 128 megabyte computers. So, and I don't think I became some kind of like derelict convict, you know, in the nation, and it's because I had good parents and I had good friends and I had, you know,
support. A good balance.
Yeah, good balance. Support.
When I said that's not what I meant at all. When I was.
Oh yeah, I know that. Hell, right? You're Star Wars.
Bad thing.
You know what I'm saying? I know that. Yeah. I mean, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, because I do think you're perfect.
No, all I have to say about video games is I like playing video games, but they're a huge waste of time.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where, like, hey, I like Doritos, and every time I eat a freaking bag of Doritos, I go, I feel bad about eating that bag of Doritos.
Do you eat it in one sitting?
We're out of Doritos. Could you get some more when you go back to the store? So, you know, feel bad, whatever, but it's that funny thing, and I'm sure we've all probably said something similar of, should I eat healthy, or should I spend less time playing video games, more time drawing, and all this kind of stuff? When I die, it's the taste I want in my mouth, okay? I want to die over my board drawing. I want to die with a controller in my hand, a Mountain Dew spilling out around my dead body, and the taste of Doritos in my mouth, okay?
I resemble that remark.
That is the American dream.
What? Right?
That was beautiful.
You said hua.
Sorry, my bad. Old habits die hard, right? But whatever. There's my rant.
Thank you to our 50% of our former armed forces in the panel tonight.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's my rant. Pet peeve of mine.
I did not serve, but I supported by being a contractor for many years, and my parents met on base, and that's certainly a cause that I believe in quite a bit. And the more you know.
The more ding ding ding. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I couldn't have done it without. I couldn't have made it through my 20 years without community I've been in. You know, been around. You guys, you know, even though I've only been with you a short time here, and I've known Ray for quite a few years, but I don't know, man. There's so many people just like us, right, who are out there doing any kind of career, whether it's military, you know, one people might say is valuable, you know, or worthwhile. And there's so many other good people, man, that may not be doing that, but God, they're contributing in so many different ways, you know, living their own lives, going through their own ups and downs and stuff. And anybody who discounts, like say Chris Hardwick, I know he's a supporter of stuff, so I'm not going too hard on it. I know it's all about the microphone in front of him and wanting to say something relevant or something shocking, but you know, I think that the less we're pressured to say things are bad or things are good, that when we don't actually agree with it wholeheartedly, you know, when people start standing up for what they do believe in, that's when things will start changing.
I'll drink to that, but not too much.
Right. Only moderately responsible. Don't drive.
And to be fair to Chris, a lot of his story is about how after he was on MTV, things fell apart. He got kind of dumpy and fat, and wasn't employable. And one day he just had to get up and kind of kick his own butt and get back into gear. And so for him, like moderation was definitely a key, but a lot of stuff he just went cold turkey on because he felt like he had gone so far in the other direction. Like he said that he drank a lot, he was an alcoholic, he didn't do 12-step, he didn't do anything, he just stopped one day and did no more. And not everybody works that way, and support and process is very important in a lot of things, but I think that's probably a product of that when he says stuff about not personally playing video games. I don't count that one against him, but
yeah. I know plenty of people too, though, that like games is what gets them through life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That may seem sad, in some perspectives, but to me, man, whatever makes you happy.
Right. And to your credit, when he's at the E Studios and he's interviewing Kim Kardashian or whatever it is, he's not exactly living that geek life, and it's hard to comment on stuff like that when that's how you spend your time and you're at the, red carpet events and things like that. I like him. It's just you have to accept that for what it is. Yeah. Holy crap, we got so deep on this stuff. Now I'm supposed to talk about like new rock bands coming out and Guitar Hero by the end of the year.
Yeah. Who's excited about that?
Speaking of time wasters.
Right. I love those games, man. I love those music games, and I was so excited to hear that the new generation of consoles are going to get their own.
I'm glad that they're coming back. They really got burned out real quickly, but I'm glad they're coming back. There is a place for them.
Ray is using
my house
mic right now.
Oh, I guess there is a place for it in my house.
Yeah. So take that.
Yeah, but not for video gaming.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
I like watching my back in the days, my little boys, and now my little girl. I like watching them sit and sing. So hey, I guess we're good for that.
And honestly, the music they've chosen for a lot of these games, it's bringing really great music to a whole new generation. Like, there's kids playing Boston in their living rooms at high volume and things like that, and you gotta love that.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
So maybe it'll be cool.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought those things had died out a little bit. I mean, I know the dance ones were still fairly popular.
Yeah, and they said they had died out. They were like, you can pull up articles where they're like, there will be no further Rock Band games, and the Guitar Hero is done.
I'm just looking forward to the next DJ Hero.
I'm sure you've all been in GameStop and seen like 300 copies of DJ Hero with the turntable and everything, and it costs like
Rockstar and all that.
Costs like $4 and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, I'd still like a good game of DDR every once in a while, though. That kind of stuff.
My sister was literally a competitive DDR tournament participant for several years.
Yeah, cool. I dated a girl that did that too.
She got in pretty good shape doing that too. Like that was the best care of herself I've ever seen her take. Like this.
Yeah, take that, Chris Hardwick.
You put to play DDR, man.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's right. It's all about community.
Yeah.
That's right.
I like it. It's fun. But boy, what else? What other game news?
Well, you mentioned GameStop. So you're seeing this thing where like GameStop's they're talking about selling the older consoles or something? They're talking about trade-in, or are they talking about actually making some type of pseudo console?
They are going to start accepting trade-ins for, I think, systems dating all the way back to the NES.
Right.
And then they're going to be selling N64 stuff, PlayStation stuff, SNES, Dreamcast stuff.
Why? Like, I mean, I get it. I like those games, but I thought all that was maybe going to start, porting to digital and we're going to be available on our current consoles. What's retro?
Nintendo-wise, a lot of it still will be available on, digitally. But Sony doesn't put out any PS1 game, hasn't put out any PS1 games for the PS4
right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
So, go ahead, Todd.
here's what it is from GameStop's perspective, this is one of their last-ditch efforts. This is their chance to screw you as bad as they do on current-gen stuff with very, very old things. That some of them are collector's items now, and they'll give you $350 and some power-up points. But the thing is, it's very smart because why do you even need to go to GameStop anymore? You really don't.
Right.
You can download digital, or you can go to the little shop up the street that carries your latest stuff. You can get Target new releases, Walmart, Amazon. Now, if you can't do something interesting at GameStop, you got no reason to go. And this is going to be one of their ways to stay relevant, I think.
When was the last time you were in GameStop?
Right. Honestly, it was probably middle of last year.
I went in there 2 weeks ago, and
They still
you
have
should
the
go
same
in there
stuff.
and observe the clientele and the people that come in there and see why the GameStop's still open.
I'm curious what's going on.
I don't want to talk about it over the air.
I'm starting to get
I
some
went in
ideas.
there a couple weeks ago, maybe, and
And there you go. So you ran into Raymond and.
yeah.
Yeah. Red Bang.
I forgot what I was getting, but other than that, I don't go there. I don't have a reason to go there.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, right. Oh, go ahead, Brad. I didn't mean.
I work less than a block away from Slackers, which screws you over in all sorts of other ways. But but I mean, there's no reason for me to take the extra 10 minutes to drive to GameStop when I can
I
get
think
the same stuff other places.
I gotta say, I mean, GameStop, I think is the Radio Shack of department stores. It is uttering the longest death rattle or gurgle, that I think most of us are going to witness in our lifetimes.
I tend to agree. Yeah.
It's an outdated format. It's an outdated product. There's no way. I mean, I can't believe. I don't know who's going to go first, Best Buy or GameStop, really.
I think I would go GameStop.
Yeah. I mean, so it's. I know so many people that work for them. Apparently, it's not the best work environment in a lot of cases, and then at the same time, yeah, I do. I've always kind of lamented the way that they treat customers and kind of take advantage of kids, with the trade-ins and all this kind of stuff. And I know they have to maintain profit margins and stuff, so I get that. Those people that might want to come to champion their cause, but I don't know. I've witnessed a lot of, which we all have, I think, witnessed a lot of just crap treatment, of customers and especially kids and being taken advantage of on trade-ins and stuff. So.
Yeah. And I think what they're really striving for here is to bring the casual browser back into the store, because now the few people who do go to GameStop are like, okay, I need Smash Brothers and nothing else, and no, I don't want to pre-order anything, and no, I don't want your stupid magazine, and please just give it to me and have a good day.
Right.
But if you're with a couple of friends and you're going like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could find a copy of Excitebike? And let's go to GameStop and see what they got there. And now you're looking at Nintendo games, and while you're there, you see a Super Scope, and you've got to have that. And it could be really good for them, or it could be too little, too late. We'll see.
I think it's probably too little, too late. Honestly.
I can't say I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to, places like GameStop, because where else are you going to hang out in the mall while your wife is shopping and stuff?
That's true.
But no, its time has come and gone. They need to go ahead and move on.
So
I'd rather see KB Toys or whatever that storyline come back to the malls and take on GameStop.
I used to love KB Toys so much.
Yeah,
They were overpriced.
I worked there. Yeah, they were overpriced a little bit. Sometimes, though, if you watch the clearances, you could get a good price.
That was the only time I ever bought anything there as a action figure collector. Yeah. I would never buy anything unless it was clearance at KB, because they were $2 or $3 higher than where I worked, Toys R Us, at the time.
Yeah. Well, we want to try to lightning round the rest of these topics, because it's just about time. We got very deep into a couple of things, and
we probably
got almost no time.
Trailer stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there were very good movie trailers that came out, and there was good movie news that came out. Olivia Munn's going to join the X-Men cast. That's fine. A lot of people are just like super fans of her. She's fine. I'm sure she'll be good in that role.
Any opinions on that?
I think she part physically. That's about it. Although some people were saying I thought Psylocke was Asian, and I don't think she is.
Yeah, she looks like she might have a little bit of some type of
Maybe.
Yeah, Pacific heritage, but like
yeah, it's hard to comment accurately on something like that. I don't know exactly what her heritage is, but
I think she'll be fine.
Yeah.
I
thought it was whatever.
It you know what, it drums up some interest in pulling another crowd, so that's cool for me.
Yeah. The Terminator Genesis trailer looks cool, but also spoiled a major plot point, which is apparently kind of becoming habitual for the Terminator series. They've been spoiling things in the trailer since, Terminator 2. But I don't think it's going to hurt the watchability of the film.
No, it still looks really cool to me.
Yeah. Yes, everybody.
I'll go see it. The trailer looked fantastic.
That's on my list for 2015. I have a small list of movies I can go see.
Yep, I thought it looked cool too.
Yeah. Ant-Man's looking good. For me, mostly, I just want to see Brian Fantana be halfway serious.
Not knowing much about Ant-Man, the trailer makes me want to go see it. So
the first trailer did nothing for it, but this trailer was a lot better.
Yes. Yeah, I thought this trailer really bridged that gap. Couldn't tell kind of what it was about or what it was going to be, but this one was pretty freaking cool.
I think I missed the first trailer, so.
Oh yeah, and I'll make it real quick, but like not to jump back to it, but Terminator, I thought the same way. This trailer that's out now makes me way more interested in watching this as part of the Terminator, line than the first ones did. I was actually thinking that it was really going to suck. So this one for me breathed new life into it.
Yeah. So and those are pretty universal opinions. Everybody thinks these latest trailers are going to push both of these films where people were kind of doubting them before. So that's movie news. Check out the Humble Origin bundle. This is the second Origin bundle they've done with big EA games. There are great games from the Dragon Age series, Mass Effect, Dead Space, Command & Conquer, and you name your price and the benefits go to charity. So humblebundle.com for that stuff. And actually, that's it. That's about all we wanted to talk about tonight. So
are we good on time, or are we good? No.
It's pretty much time.
All right. I was going to just show you here real quick. I'll show you like what I've been working.
Yeah, show us what you got.
So let me finish filling in something real quick. And I've got some touch-up to do, but so Daredevil, doing a little Daredevil action. Let me see if I can.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
So I'll post this up. Maybe we can stick it out there somewhere. If we get anybody to interact with us, out there, I'll be happy to send you a digital copy of this so you can do what you like to with it.
Oh yeah.
So, or we can put it out there somewhere that everybody can download. I guess in the digital world, it means nothing. Okay.
It's in the cloud. We can't send you a physical copy. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Any other business as we draw to a close? That sounds like a no. So if you what?
That's it. Crickets.
Yeah, crickets. Yeah. So if you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or our YouTube channel. Follow us at nightfallunlimited.com, at Nightfall UNLTD on Twitter. We got a Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you absolutely anywhere, and we will absolutely shout out to you on the show. And just get involved, tell a friend, and happy to have you along. So for my friends Brett and Dan and Ray, this is Todd, and have a good one.